Welcome back to Pisces TV with Montana B. This is your daily vibe Pisces for the collective, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising, wherever Pisces may fall in your chart or in your environment. Keep in mind that tarot is entertainment. It may or may not resonate with everyone, and if it does not, feel free to check other aspects of your chart and some of my other videos. As we get started, thank you all for watching. All of the newcomers, you can check the description box. There's a lot of information there, as well as the link to Patreon to join us in the discussion groups, mentor, products and services, much, much more. There's a link to my web store too. Here on YouTube, we have the community board, member section, and merchandise. So if you hadn't subscribed, the benefit of doing so is to get all of the notifications so that you don't miss anything. I often do coupon codes and daily specials on the readings, okay? Now, if you are new to the channel, warning, I'm immature, okay? So these cards are shuffled out in our icebreaker. I intuitively read them. I go over the pictures. I'll check the guidebook for anything specific, and then we go over them, right? But I'm just like, it's a lot of titties here, okay? I don't know why, but I don't believe in coincidences. So here you have the number 22, the mother's milk, and it does talk about an energy of like a grand source, right? And then two sources, two energies from the source, okay? So for some of you, this is like a traditional sword card, and I was like, well, how you get swords and titties? But hey, this is a tantric oracle deck, so it's like cool. The 22 in the master number is action based, and then the swords would be like decisions, choices, stuff like that. So I thought that was neat. Here in the center, we have 21 in traditional tarot, which would be like the world card. And we have like what appears to be two worlds, because I would say this is Earth, but that looks like Earth, right? So you got two titties and two worlds. Okay. And then the outcome or advice card that we'll go over, the number 38. I thought about 11. In traditional tarot, this card is associated with wands. So as we talk about action, let me count the people. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wands. Okay. It did talk about a spiritual initiation in the deck, okay, and a block of some sort. Some of you, there is like a block in communication. If I think about the Two of Swords, this is like a cold, kind of rigid, laid back person, you know, that may not make decisions easily. I think about Libras when I say that, but just someone who could be thick-skinned, right? Not easily to penetrate the emotions, okay? But then something about milk is symbolic, so I don't know what that's about. And then with the world card, it also indicated like choices, decisions. Some of you guys could be switching the location or a train of thought or something like that. And then here we have like this feminine wisdom in the wand energy, but it kind of collaborates with the mother's milk and the sword energy. So we have amusement here. Now, I also got a quick little message for my star seeds, because it talks about a detachment from source and coming to earth. And in the center of the reading, here's completing a cycle, which is a lesson to be learned. And it's like, you're not getting off this ship until that lesson is learned, unfortunately. And some of you may like the ship as well, because it talks about materializing or materialism or whatever, okay? Now, material possessions, finances, stability related to earth. For some of you, since we got the twos, personalities and appearances, outlook and potential. For others of you with the 1. For the 3s, we have communications, letters, journey, and mental action. And with the 8 and 38, we have the occult, sexual experiences, and money, okay? So let's start out with the mother's milk. They kind of provoke the whole, why are all these titties out energy. Now, the mother's milk, like I said, has an association with the element of air, okay, air, and is normally related to the suit of swords in the traditional tarot. And the Milky Way is also coming up. If any of you have personal connections or ideas, or maybe you just saw a video about the Milky Way, then that could mean, hey, you pay attention to this. Spiritual homesickness could be there for some of you guys, especially with this world card next to it. a desire to go back. So it's like not your fault, not people's fault, not, anyone's fault. It's just you have this starseed natural energy of wanting to be in a different space. For others of you, it could indicate a need for nourishment, okay? So according to the placement of the card, which you would probably have to get a personal reading to see what it means specifically for you, because it goes from the nourishment of health all the way to fantasy and imagination, to spiritual nourishment as the outcome from a higher self, honoring female principle, okay? And then there's the nourished by the great nature, okay? Now we get to the world card, which is the number 21, and it's actually a step before the current energy. So the conflict is something that just recently happened, possibly because we got this connection here with the 21 and the 22, maybe even going back on some decisions. Maybe someone's reflecting on a decision and, blocking and unblocking, or communicating and not communicating, right? But this card relates to the world of the traditional tarot, the surface of the earth viewed from space. But it's like, how are we viewing the earth from space if it's like we're also viewing the world from space? A new earth, an orb of a new earth. So it's an energy or a vibration, where we talk about the 3D and the 5D as well. A completion of a new perspective. The next moment's manifest itself, so be mindful of that. Responsibility understood in its broader aspect of humanitarianism. Liberation from bondage of a habit and a change in viewpoint. It could indicate, like I said, a change in residence for some of you, or emerging from the old, okay? Now, any of you where these blocks could be possible health hazards, keep that in mind. And others of you, this foretells of psychological goals, potential change, okay? So that is so dope, but we don't want the emotional obstacle which keeps you fixed on worldliness. Okay, some of you, that could be creating a block if we are overly focused on some sort of worldliness. Okay, now scooching over to the number 38, which again, this card is associated with the wands. And then I was like, again, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wanted to see 8 wands so bad because it talks about taking actions. 2 swords, 8 wands. That would definitely be a strong message about some of you relocating or taking action towards something, as well as messages coming to you. But it's like in this, they're still thinking about it, or there's a choice or a block, and the message isn't really coming yet. Okay, so it's like nothing being communicated at this point for some. The promise of pleasure and fulfillment, that strikes heavy to someone that could be kind of tied on the worldly views, creating this block. It also talks about appreciation and enjoyment of female principle, right? Which could be wisdom, sexuality, flowers of bliss, the goddess of creation, if you're that deep. If not so deep, it just talks about moving upward, okay? Or moving on, okay? Now there could be some sexuality up in here because, like I said, it's a lot of titties. Sexual fantasy. Some of you guys could be having dreams or looking at porn online. I don't know, because the 21 is also the world card. Could talk about the internet, something that you're looking at on the internet. Okay, I don't know, is somebody looking at you? But here we are again with the psychological transformations. Something as beautiful as a deep love or exotic as a sexual fantasy, particularly in your environment. Okay. Now, those of you where this is like a spiritual journey, it does, again, complement the initiation through spontaneity for the mystic's journey, okay? Now, I haven't done any traditional tarot in the last couple of videos, so I did say I was going to do it today. Even though I don't find it necessary, I'm loving my oracle cards, but just for kicks, all right? We are going to, okay, take out a couple cards here. Well, we have the energy of bliss. If this is the 7 of wands, I swear. Okay, 3 wands. We have the 9 of cups, wish fulfillment. The Ace of cups, I find to be abundance. The 3 of wands, ships coming in. That 8 of wands would have showed me those ships are like at your tiptoe fingertip. But the 3 of wands state that we're looking out and they just hadn't come in yet. For some of you, it could talk about money. Others of you, this is definitely releasing that block, taking action towards something. And then here is my confirmation card, my Ace of Swords. So where the reading started with the 2 swords, here's one of those swords, which could talk about a new way of thinking, being optimistic, maybe overly optimistic, and a commitment. See, a commitment you made. Look at that. Here's the World card that we had at the center. Here's the energy of the 2, where it talks about action, seeing the world as your oyster, your journey here, your trip here, your commitment here, and then the truth about it. Okay, so discovering that truth, changing your perspective, being crowned, because I also see like the reef here, portals of opportunity as we go through the grand earth trine today as well. So maybe these are our 3 wands, looking forward to the future, taking action, going in a different direction. And then here we have the spark, okay? That inner child, the strong fire energy in the page where it hasn't been fettered, right? It's unfettered and untouched by the world, all right? Because the world is kind of like at a distance. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So that's kind of cool. I like the idea of the wish fulfillment, abundance, and something about this portal of opportunity where it's like those 2 wands and taking a new direction with that 3rd wand of possible optimism or communication. Somebody may have some very passionate communication to share with you. All right, I got 2 9s here. So for some of you, it definitely is about your path and your mission. The 6 of Swords would talk about the hidden, kind of guiding you away from chaos. So this could be a message from Source just for some of you to say, you know, to be happy and nurture yourself because there's things coming up in the future and you really don't have anything to worry about, right? Now, I have the 2 9s here where some of you are completing cycles like once and for all. And I don't care if it's soulmates, habits, cycles with Saturn, because Saturn can be a bit of a lot. Okay, as we talk about the grand mother, right, which is either the moon or Saturn's ass. Now here you have 2 aces and the Knight of Swords, which complements this 9 of Cups of wish fulfillment. Oh, and then you have the King of Pentacles, who, you know, may be communicating this passionate information. I'm thinking about you. So many ways you guys could take this. Look at my voice changes, my sexy Sade voice. But now you got 3 aces. I think the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles knows, yep, and here's another confirmation. You got the Sun. This is like these aces and learning what to do with them. With the Knight of Swords, it's kind of like taking action, being brave, something about your thinking, okay? But you have 3 aces right here. So it's like the Magician energy. But where the King of Pentacles comes is the wisdom, the experience, and the education of some sort to know like how to take these aces and get these grapes right here, okay? So definitely love that. This is wishful thinking for some. And Source is like, no, it could be. All right. So now with the 3 of Wands, we have potential. And I feel like potential... somebody's like wanting to go back towards something that has already ended, or somebody could be returning from the past. And I don't know if this is the best idea, but there could be like, it's not really coming together, not sure. Or maybe that's how it was. The Death card here, just saying that there could be a transformation. Some of you that are coming out of like financial hiccups or whatnot, seeing the potential and changing your habits toward work. Maybe something about your work is going to be changing. And others of you, if this is a person or a relationship, very passionate communication, but I'm not sure if it ever transpires into something. See, it's definitely someone from the past and something about nostalgia. But commitment is a thing. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like we have the King of Wands kind of show up with this page of Pentacles. So some long awaited communication from somebody that you are highly attracted to, or that's really, really attracted, or this strong sexual connection. And then I think this thing has been moving really, really, really slow. It also talks about the commitment that could be involved, or the perseverance. That's what the King of Wands is pretty good with, the perseverance and focusing on the outcome, the high road. And then here we have the Emperor, which talks about stability and security. And I love that I find contentment. I release myself from things that no longer serve me, maybe even a pay increase, or some of you can look up what the numerology numbers 22 or 99 could mean for you. But I definitely like wisdom. And then here I have stability and security. So knowing what to do with these aces is super, super cool. Okay, so that is what I have, Pisces. I do hope that it helps. Until next time, guys. Oh, and look at that. We started out with the 2 swords because I'm nosy. There are 2 swords, and let's see. See, the 7 of swords is like the hidden, and that's 9 swords. So now you would have like 999. For some of you, it's like a reward of some sort. Oh, and the lovers. I can't wait to do the love reading. So that is what I have. I do hope that it helps. Until next time, guys. Namaste.